Every time I make a video about mortgages, the comments section fills up with the same 3 arguments. So I'm going to knock them out one by one. Myth number 1, the mortgage interest tax deduction makes it worth it. Almost nobody gets the mortgage interest tax deduction anymore. Thanks to the 2018 standard deduction increase, about 90% of Americans don't itemize their tax, which means that they get zero benefit from the mortgage interest. Zero. So whether you have a mortgage or not, you're taking the same standard deduction. Now, before 2018, about 1 in 3 people benefited. Today, it's closer to 1 in 10. So if you are holding onto an oversized mortgage only for the tax benefit, there is a very good chance you're probably not getting one. Go check with your tax guy. Go look at your tax statement. You might be surprised. Myth number 2, I can always sell my house if I need to. Can you? I'm a living example of this. In 2007, bought a house for $200,000. By 2009, it was worth $85,000. I owed more on the mortgage than the house was worth in the open market. So if I tried to sell, I'd have to come up with the difference in cash to closing just to get out of the deal. And who has all of that cash just lying around? And that's what being underwater means. And millions of Americans were in that exact position while the economy was also laying people off. I can always sell is a fair weather strategy, and mortgages don't only get tested in fair weather. Myth number 3, a bigger house is always a better investment. Here's the one I want you to really think about. Your primary home is not an asset. It really isn't. And I know that's very uncomfortable to hear. I mean, I have a house and I don't consider it an asset. It kind of stings to hear that, but it's true. An asset generates income by definition. I don't think your house is generating income. Your house is most likely draining it. A mortgage, right? Even if you don't have a mortgage, you have maintenance, you have property tax, you have property insurance, you have repairs. The only return you see is the day that you sell the property. Everything in between is an outflow. Now compare that to Mike's $150 a month invested. Over 30 years, even that modest amount grew to $224,000. The problem isn't that he bought a house. The problem is the mortgage cost so much that he couldn't build the portfolio that actually generates passive income. The house doesn't free you. The portfolio is what frees you. So what do you actually do about this, right? Here are the moves, and these work whether you're just starting off or you're already locked into a mortgage that's heavier than you would like. Move number 1, the $100 reclaim. Every $100 a month you cut from your expenses removes $30,000 from your required freedom number. So here's the most powerful single action you can take today. Find a way to throw an extra $100 toward your mortgage principal this month. Not your payment. I'm talking about your actual principal. $100 extra a month toward principal on a $280,000 loan at 5% cuts nearly 4 years off of your mortgage term. 4 years of payments gone. And since your monthly payment is fixed, every dollar of principal that you knock out early on is a dollar that never generates interest again. So you don't need to make a dramatic life change to make this happen. Just start with $100. Then if you want, make it $200 and watch the math work for yourself. Move number 2, ask about recasting. Most people have never heard of this, and it's kind of interesting. If you come into some extra money, let's say you get a bonus, a tax refund that's huge, an inheritance, and you dump a lump sum toward your principal balance, you can actually go to your lender and ask them to recast your loan. Recasting means they're going to re-amortize your remaining balance over the remaining term at your existing rate. So if you have a really good payment, like 2% mortgage rate, that's pretty sweet, right? That means they're going to give you a lower monthly payment. This is not refinancing. This is not getting a new loan. This is not new closing cost. It's just a lower payment, which, using the $100 test, means less portfolio required to be free. Not every lender does offer this, though. So you're going to have to check and see if your lender is one of the good ones or not. And it does usually come with a small fee of a few $100s. But it's honestly one of the most underused tools in personal finance. So go check it out if it's right for you. Move number 3, run the refinance math in time, not money. If your rate is more than 1% above the current market rates, refinancing does deserve a conversation. But here's how I want you to think about it. Not in dollars, but in months. Take your closing costs, divide that by your monthly savings. That's your break-even point in months. If you're breaking even in 18 months and you plan on staying there for like 10 years, that's a no-brainer. That makes sense. If you're breaking even in 6 years and you think you might move out of that house in 4 years, you're probably not doing yourself any favors. Time math, not money math. And if you haven't bought yet, now this is the most powerful move of all. The bank will approve you for far more than you can borrow. Every $100,000 less house that you buy is $300 a month less in payment, which, you know the math by now, is $90,000 less portfolio you need to be free. Buy intentionally below your approval limit. That gap between what they're going to give you and what you actually take, well, that's where freedom lives. Look, I paid off my mortgage early and I never regretted it for a single day. But I also know that not everyone is in the same position to do that, and that's okay. That's not the point of today's video. The point is this: most people choose their mortgage the way that the bank wants them to choose it. Because at the end of the day, the bank's going to make more money on interest if you max it out. It's based on what they got approved for, based on the monthly payment fitting the budget on paper. And it's based on what their neighbors bought. Nobody tells you that a $3,200 a month mortgage means that you need nearly $1 million in your portfolio just to replace that one expense in retirement. I'm telling you now, your mortgage is either going to buy you time or it's going to quietly steal your time. Let me know where you are in your journey. I read through every single comment. If you want to see exactly how I paid off my mortgage 25 years early and what happened in the 4 years since, well, that video is right up here. You can check that out next. Keep building your Sharpe money, and I'll see you on the next video.